After 9 p.m. By day, they were three very different men living three very different lives. Leon, 48, a senior manager at a tech company in Palo Alto. His calendar was a battlefield of back-to-back meetings, each one draining him a little more. People respected him, but no one really saw him. Marcus, 34, a product manager with two young kids. His life was a constant rotation of diapers, deadlines, and dishes. He loved his family, but sometimes he felt like he was dissolving inside the noise. Evan, 26, a new software engineer fresh out of grad school. He spent his days writing code and pretending he understood the company's legacy systems. He was lonely in a way he didn't know how to admit. In the real world, they would never have met, but every night at 9:15 p.m., they gathered in the same place. Summoner's Rift, League of Legends, their secret second life. Leon always logged in first. He'd loosen his tie, drop into his gaming chair, and feel the weight of the day slide off his shoulders. He wasn't a manager here. He wasn't responsible for anyone's career. He was just Garen, a man with a sword and a very simple job: spin and yell. Marcus joined next, tiptoeing out of his kids' room after bedtime. He'd close the door gently, like escaping a battlefield, then collapse into his chair. He always played Janna, the wind support. "Reality is chaos," he'd say. "At least here I could protect someone." Evan logged in last, usually with takeout still steaming beside him. He played Zed because he liked the feeling of being sharp, precise, dangerous. Everything he didn't feel in real life. Their first words were never, "Hello." They were always, "Who's jungle tonight?" "Not me, I'm emotionally fragile." "Fine, I'll do it. But if you feed, I'm muting you." And just like that, the day's heaviness cracked open. In the game, they were different men. Leon, who spent his days speaking carefully, diplomatically, became a fearless frontliner who charged into fights yelling, "Demasha!" His teenage son once walked past his office and whispered, "Dad, are you okay?" Leon just grinned. He hadn't felt that alive in years. Marcus, who spent his days being needed by everyone, his boss, his kids, his wife, finally had a space where he could choose who to protect. He'd shield Leon from a fatal blow and say, "Don't worry, old man, I got you." And Leon would laugh, "Bless you, Wind Mommy." Evan, who felt invisible at work, became the star assassin of the team. When he pulled off a perfect combo, Marcus would shout, "Bro, you're cracked." And Leon would say, "Teach me your ways, young blood." For Evan, those moments meant more than he ever said out loud. And then came that match, the one they would remember for years. It was supposed to be a quick game before bed, but 40 minutes in, they were getting crushed. Their base was cracked open, inhibitors gone, enemy minions flooding in like a tide they couldn't stop. Leon exhaled, voice low. "Boys, this might be it." But Marcus said, "Not yet. Not while I'm still breathing." And he flashed forward, the support, the softest roll, to shield Evan from a lethal burst. Evan gasped, "Bro, you're insane." But Marcus only said, "Go, finish it." Evan's Zed vanished into the enemy backline, a blur of shadows and perfect timing. He deleted their ADC in one clean combo, the kind of play he never dared attempt at work, but here, with these two, he felt brave. Leon saw the opening. "Follow me." And he charged. Garen, the simplest champion, but in that moment he was a general leading a last stand. He soaked every hit, every stun, every spell, until his screen was flashing red. "Leon, you're gonna die," Evan shouted. Leon laughed, a deep, joyful, reckless laugh. "Then let me die for something fun." He spun, silenced, and bought them 5 precious seconds. Just enough. Evan cleaned up the last two enemies. Marcus kept him alive with a shield that landed at the exact millisecond. And suddenly, impossibly, the map was quiet. "Go mid," Leon whispered. "End it." They marched down the lane like survivors of a war, hands shaking, hearts pounding. The enemy respawn timers ticked down. 10 seconds. 7. 4. Evan hit the nexus. Marcus shielded him. Leon tanked the minions with 12 HP left. And then, victory. The word exploded across their screens in gold. For a moment, none of them spoke. Then Marcus let out a broken laugh. Leon wiped his eyes. Evan actually choked on his own breath. They weren't crying because they won a game. They were crying because, for almost an hour, they had fought together, bravely, stupidly, beautifully, in a way real life never allowed them to. It was the kind of victory only grown men with tired hearts could understand. One Friday after the match, Marcus said, "Hey, you guys want to grab dinner tomorrow, like in person?" Silence. Then Leon said, "Sure, I'll bring my reading glasses so I can see your face." Evan said, "I'll bring my youth to balance you two out." They met at a ramen shop in Mountain View. Leon looked exactly like they imagined. Tired eyes, warm smile. Marcus looked like a man who hadn't slept in 5 years. Evan looked nervous, like he wasn't sure he belonged. But when they sat down, the awkwardness melted instantly. They talked about everything except work. They laughed so loudly the waiter smiled at them. They argued about champions, about who fed the most, about whether Leon's Garen build was illegal. For 2 hours, they weren't manager, father, or junior engineer. They were just friends. After dinner, they stood in the parking lot, hands in pockets, not wanting the night to end. Leon said, "Same time tomorrow?" Marcus nodded. "Yeah, after the kids sleep." Evan smiled. "I'll be there." They didn't hug. They didn't say anything sentimental. They didn't need to. Because they all knew the truth. This nightly ritual was the one place where they could breathe, where they could be themselves, where they could be seen. Not as workers, not as fathers, not as rookies, just as men trying to survive adulthood with a little humor, a little courage, and a team that always waited for them at 9:15 p.m. When they logged in that night, Leon said, "All right, boys, who's jungle?" Marcus said, "Not me, I'm emotionally fragile." Evan said, "Fine, I'll carry you old people again." And the game began. 3 men, 3 lives, one small corner of the world where they could finally be free.